Shawnee O'Neal says she doesn't think she was ever in love with Shaq, meanwhile having multiple kids with this man for years. If Shaq can't keep a bitch, why do you think you can? Listen, this is why I tell y'all being a provider, it gets you nowhere. You can be a 100% provider man doing everything for your woman and she will not love you, will not respect you or anything. I remember growing up, my dad was dealing with a woman. My dad was a provider, period, point blank. Handled everything, paid for everything, kept us fed, all that. Provider. Mind you, my dad handled everything, paid all the bills, things of that nature, right? This woman told my father that she has love for him, but she's not in love with him. Boy, I would have lost my mind. Depending on the woman, a woman can love you today. In the next 5 minutes, she will hate you. These women's love and emotions switch so fast, bro. And it gets to the point where, like, is it even worth it? Like, as men, we've seen this happen time and time again. And the question is it even worth going all in? Like, paperwork marriage, is it even worth going all the way in?
The simple answer is no, but I'm going to try and break this down. The main thing I'm going to be talking about is being a provider as far as why that's not worth it. If you go to my very first video, you're going to see me break down the difference of being a provider in 1950 or just way back in the day, pre-feminism versus being a provider now, and how there are tremendous differences on a lot of levels. So I'm not going to go deep into that because that is a very like fundamental video to me when it comes to this. And it has a lot of takes that nobody really says. But this is the thing. Right now with the inflation and the wages not matching, providing for yourself is extreme. I'm not going to say extremely hard. It's hard. Well, yeah, it really is because a lot of people can't live in most cities without a roommate. If you are a single individual and you have a full-time job, you should be able to buy a home for yourself. Now, you could say, because this is what people like to do, you know, as a man, you do have to be solutions oriented. And if you have your own situation, you do got to step your game up. That's just what it is. But just saying, well, you got to step your game up to that is like, bruh, we have to look at the reality. The reality is the majority of men, the majority, are just not going to be in a situation to where they can provide completely for two people in this climate. So we don't have to drag this out or nothing like that. Two adults. We haven't even gotten to having kids yet, but just two adults, one person providing for both to where they can live a comfortable life and a woman can be satisfied with the life she's living. That is extremely hard in 2024. Now, being that that is extremely hard, when we go back to the 1950 stuff, you know, those were different women back then. Those were real homemakers and stuff like that. The majority of women right now are not real homemakers. Matter of fact, they are a lot of them is just slutted out. We just got to keep it all the way real. So when you say, okay, what I'm describing right now is hoflation. Like you got to do more than your grandfather did to get women who are much lower quality than what your grandma is. That's just what it is. And that's for people who got grandparents that, you know, were born in the early like 1900s or like anything before 1950. If your grandma was born in 1980 something like or 19 fucking 70 something, I don't know, dog. I don't know. You might want to look at your great grandparents, but you get the point. So I shouldn't have to go deep on that. So we've come across 2 points. So the first point being it's hard to provide for yourself in this era as far as the average man, not you Superman motherfuckers who gonna watch this video and be like, motherfucker, I wake up and do 38 dips and I fucking make $18 million off my first client. Like, no, you're not an average man. And yeah, you could tell motherfuckers to be an extraordinary man, but every man is just not gonna be extraordinary. That's just what it is. So that's the first thing. It's hard to provide for yourself, nonetheless, a whole nother human, nonetheless, two other little humans. You know, so that's the first thing. Second thing is As far as these bitches, they not worth it. Just got to keep it all the way real. And that's why they get so mad in hypothetical conversations, because you shouldn't be asking this on a date or on a one-on-one. Or I really feel like you shouldn't ask this question unless it's like just a group relationship discussion and it's not somebody you're actually pursuing. But that's why they get so offended at even seeing a what do you bring to the table question, because the truth is, number one, they don't know. They have no clue what a woman is supposed to be, what a woman is supposed to do. Even then, they haven't been trained to cater to a man in any way. They have just been raised to consume what value a man has. And the only thing that they know is that men might want some food and they might want some pussy. That's the only thing they know. And a lot of them be fucking headaches and they think that shit is cute. So you see phrases like, I'm his prettiest problem, or I'm a pretty problem, like weird trends like that. Because these bitches be out of touch with what a man wants and needs. Now, once we get past those things that I mentioned, we get to liabilities. We get to liabilities. And when I say liabilities, because I do say women are liabilities as far as most of them, but I'm talking about liabilities as far as your finances are concerned. We're not going to get too much into child support, but that's possible for you to get hit with that after you divorce. And that fucks you up even more. But alimony will fuck you up even more. So those two things, child support and alimony, those are what you risk when you stay with a chick for a long time, because in some states they have laws to where it doesn't even matter if you got married or not. If you have been with this chick for a certain amount of time, she is entitled to those things. You need to figure those laws out if you've been in a relationship for 3, 4, 5 years and you ain't planning on marrying a chick. You got to figure those things out. But the other thing is, B, you're at risk of these consequences if you get divorced. So with that, it's like I already said, it's extremely hard to provide. And then when you get into a situation where you can actually provide, or even if you get into a high level position where you can provide because you were such a boss ass motherfucker, that is going to eat into your bread. That is, oh my goodness, seeing some of these celebrities like child support bills and alimony, oh man, it goes crazy. It goes crazy. And then these chicks be like, oh man, $20,000 a month ain't enough. It's not enough. I need 50. I need 100,000. This guy making 80 million a year. Why am I only getting 20,000 a month? That type shit. That's not something you're going to have to worry about, but it's actually going to hurt you more than likely, because you don't got 80 million. Even if you got 100,000, even if you got 300,000, whatever she hits you with is, unless you got a great lawyer, it's going to fuck you up. And the last point I'm going to make, which I'm not going to go deep on, it comes down to one of the things that he said. The chick said that she has love for him, but she is not in love with him. And this is the thing. If a chick doesn't love you for who you are, the moment you stop providing, or the moment you stop being able to provide, she's done with you. It's nasty, nasty, nasty work. Or even if she is able to provide for herself at a superior level than you, shit, she'll be done with you. That's not always true, but at the same time, it could be. So with that being said, if you are leading with providing, first off, you're not going to get a quality mate. But second, if you try to have a long-term relationship, how can you expect somebody that doesn't even like you to love you, number one? But number two, if you get sick, if you get down bad, how do you expect her to have your back? How do you expect somebody like that to hold you down? You just can't expect it. You can't expect it because you decided to lay and put a ring on a snake. That's what it is. So with all that being said, those are the reasons. Those are the main reasons that in my mind, as far as long-term commitment in a provider relationship, especially marriage, is not worth it. Now, I'm not a guy who's anti-marriage just by itself, but I'm not somebody who has dived deep into all the pitfalls of marriage. And even then, I'll be honest, I am nowhere near close to even considering marrying a chick. I don't think most of these chicks is worth that, honestly. But really, when you look at just the totality of everything that I said, it's just not beneficial. So this is what I need you to do if you made it this far. Please put a like on the video. If you like the content that much and you've watched a few videos, please subscribe. And I'll see y'all another day.